So the plan is here to put the front back on this car so that way we can load it up on this trailer and take it to my shop. So alright, I got this 83 944 towed to the shop late last night. It was too dark to make a video, so I thought I'd wait till it cooled down this evening and make a quick walk around video. As you can see, the body's in pretty good shape. It does have a few dings and dents, but it's not too bad. And for those wondering if this is summer yellow or any other Porsche color, I'll just go ahead and show you this. You can see it's been resprayed. They just painted over everything. And down here you can clearly see that the original color was red. So as far as I know, this is probably just some generic Mako yellow. And if you've seen my other videos on this car, you'll know that I discussed putting a 5.3 liter V8 into this car. But at the moment, the owner is kind of weighing his options because he wants it put back together as fast and cheap as possible right now, just so he can get to driving it again. And honestly, the only way to do that is to put the stock engine back in there. So he didn't like the performance of the stock engine, and since I never drove it before the timing belt broke, I didn't know what it was like. And I took him out in my 88 924S, and he was rather pleased with how fast it was. So I think that he'll be happy with the stock engine once we rebuild it and get it running right. There must have been something wrong with this thing. I mean, obviously the timing belt broke, but there could have been something serious going on there. It just wasn't making power. It could have already had bent valves or something. There's no telling. So what we're going to do right now, the plan is to just rebuild that engine and get it running, and I think he'll be very happy with that. So on with the walk around. Again, this is an 83, so it has the early fuel rail. I'm probably gonna put the 924S fuel lines in here and put a late fuel rail and late fuel injectors and a late DME. Upgrade everything that I can on it. The only thing that I'll probably keep is a manual steering rack. And if you saw the beginning of this video, then I'd be showing you where I had the complete suspension ripped out of it from where we were dropping the engine the last time I worked on this car. And we had to put all that back in last night to put it on the trailer. And so it was already late getting started since I didn't get off work till late. And we just had to rush to get this all thrown back together. And we finished about 11 o'clock, so it wasn't too bad. At least it wasn't midnight. So here's a quick look at the interior. Excuse the mess because we had to get this car moved, and that meant just taking everything that was in his shop and chucking it in the floorboard here. Now, he did have some really nice sports seats, but he took those out and sold them, I guess to help fund the V8 swap. And we've got his early intake manifold here. I'm going to take this out here in a minute and compare that against the later manifolds. And we also have the early cast headers here, and I'll do the same. Something I saw that was rather interesting, someone painted his fascia yellow, and normally I don't like things like that, but I really like the way that looks with the early yellow 944 gauges. Now again, I'm not really much of a fan of the early yellow 944 gauges, but I really do like the way that makes them look. So alright, here's an early and a late intake manifold. You can see right off that there's a port on the back of the early intake manifold that the later one does not have. It has been moved underneath here to this position here, and you can see what the early one looks like there. Other than that, again, they're pretty much the same, but it is something to keep in mind if you're doing an engine swap from a late car to an early car or vice versa, because some of the pre-made hoses won't fit right. Here we have the early and late exhaust manifolds. You can see that this is the early cast headers and the 87 and later tubular headers. Just for the heck of it, I stuck these on my scale here,
and these weighed 9.1 pounds, and I tried to stick both of these on the scale, but it only goes up to 11 pounds. So the 2.3 header on the bottom there was 7.5 pounds, and I couldn't get a reading for the 1.4 because it was over 11 pounds. I'm guessing it's around 13-14 pounds, so in all you're looking at over 20 pounds for both these headers.
So alright guys, that's gonna do it. Hopefully I'll get back to making regular videos. Right now I'm just trying to get my shop finished up, and there's word that it may be finished by the end of next week. So I'm just trying to do whatever I can to make videos right now until I can get these cars in there. And I'm not sure what my first project's going to be. I don't know whether I'm going to put this yellow car in there, or we're going to build the turbo, or we're going to get this burgundy car in there. There's a lot of work still left to do on this thing, and so we'll just have to see. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.